Today, we are deep diving into the life-changing philosophies of Joseph Campbell, a man who believed in the power of mythologies and the importance of following your bliss. So, grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's explore how you can use his teachings to uncover the hidden hero within yourself. For today's exploration, I'm using pastel pencils to create the portrait of this man, Joseph Campbell, while we discuss his contributions to mankind. Joseph Campbell was an American author and professor of literature, and his most famous idea was the hero's journey. So, what is the hero's journey? Joseph Campbell identified a recurring pattern occurring throughout myths and stories from all races and cultures. It's a blueprint of transformation where a hero embarks on an adventure, faces challenges, undergoes profound changes, and ultimately returns home with a newfound wisdom to share. And he called this pattern the hero's journey. And his most famous book is called The Hero with 1,000 Faces, where he describes this hero's journey in detail. And just to tell you how influential this book has been for directors and screenwriters, George Lucas, the creator of the Star Wars movie Empire, openly credited this book and said he based his original Star Wars storyline on this exact pattern. And Lucas was even known for calling Joseph Campbell his personal Yoda. But what if I told you this pattern isn't just for mythological heroes and blockbuster movies, but it's a life skill you can embrace and improve your everyday life? Okay, first let's explore the framework that is the hero's journey. It always starts off with our hero living a mundane life until he gets a call to adventure. Now, our hero generally lands up refusing the call because he doesn't want to leave his known world until he meets a mentor who promises to guide and support him on his journey. Finally, our hero, being the hero, decides to go ahead and take this adventure on and crosses the threshold from the known world to the unknown world, from the world where everything was predictable to a world where nothing is predictable. And as he journeys through this unknown world, he meets a lot of friends and makes enemies, and then goes through a lot of trials and failures, which ultimately continuously results in his own growth, until he faces a stage where it's a sort of a metaphoric death, where our hero finds himself no longer to be the exact same person he set out on this adventure. He was naive and innocent when he started off, but he's no longer that same person. He's wiser for his trials and failures. And at this stage, in all myths, there is a sort of death and a resurrection, a reward of sorts, where he probably gets a sword or some kind of a metaphoric reward for having gone through the trials that he's gone through so far. And just when things are going good for our hero, he often loses his mentor. He's left alone to face the final battle with the final monster, the final dragon, all by himself. And since this is the story of a hero, he continues onwards and refuses to go back like a coward. And he faces the battle, the big battle with the dragon, and triumphs and is reborn. But our story doesn't end there. The hero, now wiser for it, goes back to the world that he had left behind with the skills and the wisdom that he's gathered to give back to society, to help and continue the growth of mankind. So, the next time you watch a movie, look out for this pattern. You'll see this pattern pretty much everywhere, from The Lord of the Rings with Gandalf as the mentor, to Star Wars with Yoda being Luke Skywalker's mentor, etc., etc. But how do we apply this in our daily lives? Think of your lives as a series of journeys. Whether it's learning a new skill, changing careers, or just navigating personal challenges, we all go through these stages. We start off from our comfort zone, then we face obstacles, we find mentors and helpers along the way, and when we finally face the challenge, we always come out stronger than before. And recognizing these stages can help us get a zoomed out perspective of life and help us embrace the ups and downs with more clarity and courage. And another thing Campbell was very fond of emphasizing is the stage when we face our dragons. Yes, quite often we recognize the challenges we face from the outside world, but the real dragons in our lives are always our fears, our insecurities, our challenges. And just like the heroes in the myths, we all encounter moments of self-doubt. But here's the cool part. The dragons are always guarding something valuable, a treasure. And every time we face our fears, we also always discover strengths that we did not know we possessed. So the next time fear tries to stop you, remember, this is just a part of your hero's journey. Because being a hero isn't about epic quests with magnificent movie background music. It's about facing everyday life and balancing our inner peace while dealing with the relentless changes of the world around us. And sticking to our values despite the odds. Now, another powerful lesson to learn from Joseph Campbell is the idea of unity. While studying the myths from different cultures, which seem very different on the surface, he chose to focus on what united them rather than what segregated them. And he found that they all shared the core themes of courage, transformation, and love. And Campbell firmly believed in finding the one underlying essence behind the many. And this is perhaps what drew him to the ancient Indian philosophy of Vedanta, because he has contributed a lot to a lot of Vedantic books, including the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, etc. For those who don't know, Vedanta is a very ancient Indian philosophy which speaks of the one reality behind all these various forms that we see around us. And it calls this one reality as Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, meaning that which is pure truth. Chit, meaning that which is pure consciousness. Ananda, meaning that which is pure bliss. And Vedanta says, you can find your way back to this one reality of truth, consciousness, bliss, only when you go deeper into yourself. Just to tell you how deeply Campbell was influenced by this concept, his most famous advice to everyone he met was, follow your bliss. He gave this advice to all his students, follow your bliss. But what does it really mean? What is bliss? Bliss is the state you get into when you perform positive actions which genuinely excites you and makes you lose track of time. That is the key identifier. It makes you lose track of time. And another key identifier is that you never depend on external validation. It's about finding the joy during the process. Example, if you're painting and painting makes you genuinely happy, the bliss is a fulfillment which comes from the act of painting itself and not from how many likes you get on social media. Same thing goes for cooking, scientific research, gardening, whatever it is that actually makes you lose track of time and makes you fulfilled during the act itself. is a very good indicator that it is your bliss. Campbell often used to say, "Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were only walls." Hope you've enjoyed exploring the philosophy of Joseph Campbell. Just to recap on the life skills you can embrace from this video. Number 1, you are the hero of your journey. And it's okay not to be okay all the time. The ups and downs of life are normal. That is a part of your hero's journey. Number 2, the dragon always hides a treasure. Your fears and insecurities are your inner dragons. And when you take them on, you will discover your own hidden potentials. Challenge yourself. Do one thing today that scares you. Start small and then grow organically. And last but not least, follow your bliss. Amidst the hustle and bustle of your life, find the simple acts that fulfills you, that makes you lose track of time, and just be. Dedicate at least 1 hour a week just for your bliss, because this is your gateway into a whole new world within yourself that you and you alone must discover. Maybe start off small. Write down activities that bring you joy and fulfillment without ever needing a praise from someone else, which makes you lose track of time, even if they're very small acts and quite unconventional. Because being unconventional is a good thing in this case. Alright guys, we've come to the end of another visual log into our diary. So, what will your next journey be? What journey are you currently on? And most importantly, what is your bliss? There is only one way to find out, and that is to go deeper within yourself and discover it. Until we meet again for another transformative video, stay inspired and remember, everything you seek is already within you, just waiting to be unleashed.